Hey everybody, Luxinda Swirl here. We're back with yet another wrapping the tumbler video. I guess I'm sort of doing a series, kinda. These are all things that I've wanted to try and I've just put it all off until now, but today is a lousy day for resining, so I'm doing other parts of tumbler making that don't involve resin so that I don't have to open my windows. This is actually, it really doesn't even fit in the frame of the camera. Here, I'm going to lift you away so you can see the whole bag. This is a gift bag from Walmart. Pretty big. I've already taken the strings out that there are at the top that you would normally, I guess there's normally a bow at the top or something. Back down. And this is unfortunately a little too big to get the entire graphic, which I want, onto even a 30-inch skinny, which I have here. But I'm going to MacGyver it, or jigger it, or however you want to say that, so that most of it fits. I want to get the Dr. Seuss in at the bottom. And of course I have to get Max in. Max. And of course I want to get the Grinch in with his feet intact and all that. So I want to start here, right below the Dr. Seuss. And I want to give myself some room because I will be cutting off a little bit at the bottom for so it doesn't curl under and I have to deal with wrinkles and whatnot. It will, using the edging tool, we're going to cut a very thin strip along the bottom, which will just be bare metal, or I might glitter the bottom. And then up here at the top, I can sacrifice the tops of these two trees. That's not as big a deal. We have a tree here with a star on it. We have our entire Grinch and his sleigh. And we have Max, who will also fit on here. And I think what I will do is I will cut out the Merry Grinchmas and try and move it down somehow. So I'm going to start by cutting this down a little more so that I can work with it. And I'll bring you back for that after I've done the cut. Hang on. We're back. I decided to switch to a different camera holder because the bag is just too big for the side view. I couldn't show you what I was doing very well. So I have cut the bag apart. I basically cut it down both sides, and then in essence I cut off the bottom. I'll just pitch that in the recycle bin. And now I have two copies of the same picture. The one that was on the front has glitter on it, not only here on the snow, but also on a few things. His collar, some of the presents. This one on the back, first of all, it has a deep crease where the bag folds, and there is no glitter. They didn't bother glittering the back at all. But I don't think the glitter makes that much difference. It would probably look nice. It will probably look nice under epoxy, but we're going to add our own glitter anyway. My point in showing you this is we've got two chances here, or more optimistically, 2 cups here that we can make out of one bag, which is good because this is not a cheap bag. You can get Dollar Tree bags that have wonderful Christmas, copyright, non-known figures on them. Just, you know, your basic Santa and reindeer, Christmas presents, that sort of thing. And I have some of those as well, but this is for a friend. I wanted to make a Grinch specific cup. And I just thought this would be a great way to make a cup and also test out the idea of wrapping a tumbler in a gift bag. See how it works. So, I think we'll start with this one just because it doesn't have as big a crease, because this whole front of the bag was designed to stay flat. There is a little bit of a crease there, but not nearly as bad as the one on the back side. So we'll start with this one. Now the next step is for me to take my 30 skinny straight, and I can trim things down here. Basically I want to have plenty of overlap, but at the same time I want to get all of my graphic on there. So we will see if it will all fit. I suspect we'll need a boy, that comes darn close, don't it? Sorry, that comes really close, doesn't it? Yeah, all right. So I don't actually need these side flaps. I thought I might need them, but I don't. So let's start by cutting them off. And yes, I am a lefty, and yes, I do cut with my right hand. It's part of my weird brain wiring system. Everything else I do left-handed except cut with scissors, go figure. Okay, so we are in good shape. Now we can cut off, we can certainly cut off excess on the bottom. So I'll just cut off where these lines come down underneath Dr. Seuss. May be able to deal with that with paint. I don't know. Let's see, do we have enough here? Maybe. All right, let's keep going. So now it's time to, whoopsie, Mod Podge. Now if I do this right and I start it straight, yeah, clearly I'm not. I do need to start it straight, so scooch it up a little, but basically have it straight. Okay, I'm gonna start Mod Podging. Bubbles underneath, wrinkles. And I already see some. Try and flatten everything down while I can here. Boy, I'm still working in frame. Okay, while we have this here, I am going to endeavor to get my X-Acto knife out and cut a nice straight line. All right, so far, mostly so good. Now, I am gonna put a glove on and slather this stuff on. You don't really wanna, I mean, you don't wanna drown the cup in Mod Podge exactly, but you do want a fair amount on there to overcome what the bag is trying to do by uncurling and recurling. Remember, it's been folded flat for a long time. So I'm going to paint Mod Podge on, and then I am going to use my hand to basically flatten, try and flatten out everything. So here we go. But so far, so good. So, stay tuned. Okay, folks, we're back. So what I'm gonna do, I have this patch I need to cover up, and I also wanted to, I mean, the whole reason I cut this so it's like that is because I wanted to move the Merry Grinchmas down into the cup space instead of having it be up here and obviously get lost. So I'm going to try and cut this out so that I get the words below the rim of the cup and also use the rest of the background to cover up the spot I have there. It will leave, obviously, cut mark. I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that. Possibly paint, possibly glitter. I will probably be doing some touch-ups, maybe even on the last, or on the layer after I get epoxy on it. I'm just not sure yet. First things first, let's get this in place. So I've got it sort of kind of where I want it, and I am using the lip of the tumbler to give me a cut mark. So I will try doing this now. Oh yeah. All right, that's pretty good. Okay. I still have to Mod Podge many times here, but we have this sort of attached for the time being. And now I am going to use my edging tool that I got from Amazon. I will link to it below. I've taken a couple of the washers out. That's how you designate the height you want it to hold the razor blade against the cup to determine how high or low you can cut a strip to come off around the edge. I lowered it so that I get to keep my Dr. Seuss, because that was something I wanted from the bag, was to keep the Dr. Seuss. And then you push the cup against the razor blade and turn at the same time. And effectively you slice off a nice clean line of your material, whatever it is. In this case, it is a gift bag. And then hopefully, when I get all the way around, we'll be able to take that slice off, or that strip off, and have a nice naked edge on the bottom. Let's see if that works. There we go. You can clean up any straggling bits with your X-Acto knife. Come on, you can do it. You can also go around again, but I'm kind of committed now, so I'll just keep going this way. Clearly, I need to change the blade. These blades do not last long because you're, in general, pushing the blade against, fabric and Mod Podge layers and lots of other things, and it just dulls the blade really quickly. Okay, we're gonna do the top now. I got the bottom cleaned up. I just, well, mostly, but again, we're gonna put white glitter here, so these really tiny little problems will sort of be glittered away. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the top. Hey, I'm back. So I put a new blade in the edging tool, and that proved to be a good idea because I was able to clean up both the top and the bottom pretty well with that. Here is what I mean by a box of 100 single edge razor blades. I think this was, I don't know, $5 from Amazon, $7 maybe. So if you have any trouble with the edging tool dragging against your material, whether it's paper or fabric or whatever, first thing you should try, don't fight it like I do, just go ahead and change the blade. That will probably fix your problem. As for glitter, this was the closest I could come to blue, but it's not quite right. I think you can see the difference there. This is more of a sky blue, and this is more of has a bit more aqua to it. And this is a light blue, but it's too light, really. It doesn't have enough blue in it. So what it decided in the end was I'm going to do same thing top and bottom, and I got out two whites that I think are virtually the same glitter. They look like it to me if you hold it in the sunshine. This one is Prism, a rainbow fine glitter from Glitter Chimp, and this one is Bright from Peachy Olive Glitters, and I think they're probably, if they're not exactly the same, they're as close as they can be without, I can't tell the difference. So what I'm going to do is take a smaller paintbrush that I hope will give me a little bit more control and paint the Mod Podge on and bring it down a little bit onto the paper and then sprinkle on the glitter, top and bottom rims and the bottom of the cup. Let that dry completely and then take it outside and spray it with a couple doses of clear spray paint, the Rust-Oleum 2X clear. It can be matte or gloss, it doesn't matter at this point. It's just to seal it on there, seal the glitter in place. And then I'll start putting more Mod Podge layers on everything because I don't think there's anywhere near enough on there yet before we epoxy. So let's do some glittering. Right away, once I get this on. All right, I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna come back with another layer of Mod Podge and another layer of glitter, top and bottom. And I'll see you back here when it's done and I'm ready to add more Mod Podge. And we're back. It has been quite a while since I started this cup. I put it aside because I got this far and then I realized I couldn't really figure out how to disguise this pretty massive cut line. I didn't have paint in the right color exactly. I didn't know what to do with it. So I brought it into a different Wrap It Up video I had going. I used a different gift bag that I didn't do all this cutting and pasting and moving stuff around with. And I asked people there what they thought I might be able to do to help disguise this without looking like I was disguising this, you know. I asked people for recommendations, for ideas on how to deal with the fact that there's a very obvious cut line here where I cut it out of the bag and placed it in a different spot. I wanted something that wouldn't look like I was just covering up this cut line and still therefore looking odd, or maybe even more odd than it does right now. And one of the things that somebody said was snowflakes. And at the time I had a bunch of snowflakes in very small shapes. Yeah, so I had some small snowflakes like this. These small white matte snowflakes mixed in with green and red pointed stars, 4 pointed stars. I've used those for other things. They're pretty, but I thought that many small flakes would just be too much, you know? Too much. Then I got my December Resin and More box, and it conveniently came with 2 baggies of large snowflake shapes. I'm going to try the snowflake idea, which is to put it, not just put snowflakes along the cut lines, but sort of everywhere, to kind of camouflage everything. There's not so much blue. I really only have to go to here. And then when you come around to the other side of that graphic, you're back here at this spot that I'll be working with anyway. So there's not a whole lot of area to cover. And I think I'm going to try and mix it up between these 2 shapes. I'm just going to paint on some Mod Podge and start putting on snowflakes, and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, I certainly have it covered up with a multitude of snowflakes. So I'm going to let this dry, seal it with Mod Podge, probably spray seal it as well, just because, and then put a boatload of resin over it just to set these in place. It's going to take, I suspect, a couple layers of resin to seal everything in and not have it be all uneven and they stick up. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can. You can see on the edges as it's going around, they're sticking up pretty good. Some of them are. If you can't see it, you'll have to take my word for it, but we'll put it down, we'll let it dry. I will seal it a few times and then I will resin it. When I put the resin on, there will be Marabou rainbow sparkles in it. We'll give this a shot and we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. We're back, everyone. Okay, I put a layer of resin on this last night with Marabou alcohol ink in it for sparkles. I think you can see them. I hope you can see them. And even though there is some hint of the cut line still, if you look closely enough, and of course we know where to look, I think it's pretty well I still think it's pretty well camouflaged with this method. So this makes me pretty happy. I'm glad I could finish this video. It will absolutely need at least one more layer of epoxy, probably another 1 or 2, maybe a sanding and then a third. Those snowflakes are still sticking up pretty significantly. But the purpose of this video anyways is to see if we could do this and produce a pretty nice looking cup. Thank you so much, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a Merry Christmas, have a safe one, and I'll see you in the next video.